Elon just made a surprising statement and is moving toward massive things in the AI space. He is bringing back the Dojo project, yet with a twist. Dojo is going to space. The engine behind these grand designs is not just the most recent AI5 chips that Elon spoke about, which he projects are extremely more powerful than current Nvidia chips, but rather in the future plans he has, spanning all the way to the AI7. Crazier still, what if I told you he plans to do this between models every 9 months going forward? Moore's Law has no idea what to make of this. Will anyone be able to compete? All this and more coming up. The AI5 chips are expected to be 10 times stronger than the AI4 previous models, with some even claiming they might be 40 times stronger than those chips at this point. Moreover, Musk claims that a single AI5 chip offers performance comparable to an Nvidia Hopper, like the H100, while two AI5s together are like that of a Blackwell. Moreover, he heavily emphasized that not only will they be stronger, they will also cost less per compute when compared to Nvidia's current technology. A very bold claim and strategy, which we will see if it is true or not by this year. In Elon's words, Tesla's new AI5 chip is about 3 times more power efficient than Nvidia Blackwell at under 10% of the cost. For AI6, we believe we can double all performance metrics. I am super hardcore on chips right now. I have chips on the brain. I dream about chips. The AI5 chips will be used primarily within the Tesla Cybercab models, but also will upgrade Optimus robots. The AI5 chips, which had previously been delayed by Musk's teams, are now slated to be released either late this year or very early in 2027, with smaller scales expected this year and large-scale mass production occurring in early 2027. As these AI5 chips have been unveiled and discussed, a key event has been called into question: the release of Tesla's Cybercabs, which are set to be released in Q2 of this year, around April. With the AI5s not coming out until much later in 2026, this most likely means that the Cybercabs will be using the AI4 technology, which is either 10 times or even outright 40 times worse than the coming AI5 chips. If such specs are to be believed, Elon could be setting up the company for future-proofing should there be any issues with the release of the Cybercabs, essentially saying, if you think they're bad, that is okay. That is why they're going to be so much better very, very soon. However, if the launch goes down flawlessly, then they will only go on to be much, much more powerful shortly after their debut going forward. Nvidia, however, has been refusing to take this lying down and might just create major issues with Tesla going forward. Between 2024 and 2025, Nvidia has already deployed its own AI self-driving platforms. This was known as the Hyperion 8, and this technology has already been integrated in many ways with Uber through partnerships. However, in 2027, they will also be deploying the Drive Hyperion 9, Thor, and then also the Drive AGX Hyperion 10, announced as a new robo-taxi-ready platform which already has partnerships lined up and secured with Uber, one of the major taxi services currently in global service. This means that entirely, Tesla will have to build outwards from itself and create its own platform and services, something that is on Elon's own docket. Elon's AI6 chips, which he believes will double the performance across the board of the AI5 chip, already have a deal locked in with Samsung in a Texas factory. The agreement cost Tesla $16 billion. The AI6 is going to be scaled away from vehicles and instead will be used for AI data centers and the Optimus robots entirely. The AI6 is going to use a unified architecture, which will integrate Dojo's training architecture inside of itself. Tesla aims to use AI6 to turn its fleet of cars and robots into a distributed inference network, potentially creating one of the world's largest computing systems that this world has ever seen. Also, yes indeed, you did hear us correctly. We did bring up Tesla's Dojo supercomputer training system. When last we left the Dojo, we were on the Dojo 2, which Elon had scrapped and abandoned due to it being an evolutionary dead end. The Dojo 2 being the second failure. That Dojo 2 failure was turned into potential future success with the AI6 chips, which will be a starting point toward a much more complex project, a true and genuine Dojo 3 supercomputer project. The plan for the time being has been to focus on integrating the next generation of chips, AI6, directly onto boards to reduce network complexity. The Dojo 3 is more ambitious than ever before. They have genuine, solid plans to turn it into a massive supercomputer that not only functions but will be deployed orbitally into space. In fact, Tesla is so serious about this project that they have already secured a packaging deal with Intel to ensure that they hit things right away. The purpose of the Dojo 3 supercomputer is specifically designed to accelerate the training of neural networks for full self-driving, Optimus humanoid robots, and future space-based AI computing. The primary means by which Elon intends to get this project into space is through the current zenith of Elon's AI chipsets, the AI-7. The goal of the AI-7 is simple: space-first approach, orbital compute. The Dojo 3 is meant to be launched into space via orbital data centers, which will beam down all the data and information needed directly down to Earth. The mention of space-based AI for AI-7 suggests that Tesla and SpaceX will continue deepening their relationship as companies under the Musk umbrella. As Starlink satellites become more capable and Starship enables massive payload deployments, putting inference compute in orbit is less far-fetched than it seems. This would allow for edge computing in space, processing satellite imagery, astronomical data, or complex communications directly in orbit without the latency of beaming data back to Earth. It would also enable cheaper computing for large, complex tasks, such as training AI neural networks. One of the highest costs of training AI on the ground today is power and electricity, which are abundant in space. The challenges with cooling so much space-based compute are still real, but there is far more desire to enter space to solve these issues than to continue to be beholden to many of the factors that currently exist on Earth's landmasses. Moreover, it could offset environmental impacts against the planet itself and satisfy environmental activists who have been angered greatly by AI data centers. A space-based orbital data center is by no means far-fetched, and in fact, as we will discuss here shortly, there is already a working model of such a thing, just not by Tesla. This type of data center would most likely be solar-powered, as being closer to the sun would provide far more energy generation by solar panels. Moreover, as we discussed previously, with the naturally freezing cold temperatures of space, the machines would be naturally cooled to better degrees than nearly any location on Earth, rather than the Arctic regions. Elon, owning SpaceX, also sets him up ahead with a massive advantage, as he can directly load parts of the data center onto his rockets and directly deploy things into orbit as he desires. While not quite as large-scale as Tesla's own plans, Nvidia, in truth, has already gotten AI data center technology into space using its StarCloud project. The company successfully deployed its first satellite, StarCloud-1, on November 2, 2025, via SpaceX Bandwagon 4 mission. This satellite is equipped with an Nvidia H100 GPU, marking the first time a data center-class GPU has operated in space. They intend to match Tesla's ambitions with their own orbital platform and already have a head start. However, in the long term, Elon has several key advantages at his disposal, which may play to his ultimate victory. There are a variety of reasons that Elon decided to come back to the previously failed Dojo 2 program and bring it back as the Dojo 3. The market situation is starting to shift. He recently saw the success of a StarCloud system himself, and now with the AI-5 chipset being in good shape and nearly complete, more thoughts can go into the future rather than the present. Previously, the project was sidelined because resources were focused entirely on the AI-5 and AI-6, which were intended for inference in vehicles rather than training. Moreover, Musk realized that the new, highly efficient AI chips, AI-5, AI-6, and subsequent, could be utilized on a large scale for training within a new, more advanced Dojo 3 cluster. Reviving the project is seen as a way to reduce dependency on external hardware suppliers like Nvidia, allowing Tesla to build its own customized and more cost-effective AI training infrastructure. On top of everything going on, Elon intends to do more than just play catch-up with Nvidia. He plans to dethrone them and become unstoppable. Called Moore's Law on steroids, Elon's plan is to create a new cycle for Tesla-based chips, in which every 9 months a new chipset will be created, going from the AI-5 to the AI-6, and finally the AI-7. If this could be achieved, and the initial predictions for power and use are all met along with this timeline, Tesla would become the king of all chipsets. Elon firmly believes that when all is said and done, Tesla's silicon will become the highest volume AI chips in the world, dethroning Nvidia and making it impossible for any other company to compete. While Nvidia dominates the high-margin server rack market, Tesla is playing a different game. By putting these chips in millions of cars and eventually billions of Optimus robots, Tesla is building the world's largest distributed inference fleet, which can all be utilized via its new Dojo 3 platform. If Tesla does materialize their plan to use distributed inference to help train, that means a vehicle or robot on downtime and plugged in could help train models remotely without needing to be physically co-located at a data center. What do you guys think? Will Elon be able to do it? Or is this all just speculation and hope on his part, as has been seen with setbacks in the past? Let us know in the comments down below. Keep up to date with all things AI by subscribing to our channel and making sure to hit that bell icon as well. If you enjoyed the video, please hit like and share it with all your friends as well. For now, this has been AI365, and we will see you again next time.